this season. Meanwhile, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers hosting the Eagles. Rodgers has been dominant against teams with losing records this season, throwing 15 touchdowns to just 1 interception. And the Saints look to improve to 8-0 without Drew Brees since the start of last season when they faced the Falcons this Sunday. The defense has been the difference maker in those games, allowing just under 15 points per game in Brees' absence. So New Orleans currently sits in first place in the NFC. ESPN's Football Power Index gives the Saints a 50% chance to hold on to that spot. Remember, with this year's new playoff format, only the top seed in each conference receives a bye in the postseason, making it more important than ever to have that top spot. So, Ryan, it's one of those weeks where it's like, could we see some upsets? Could we see some teams maybe come out a little slow? Which team is most likely to lose on Sunday?
See, first off, I don't know why y'all put it most likely to lose. I'm not saying it's the most likely to lose, but if I was asked to pick one, it would be the New Orleans Saints. And not because I didn't just watch them stump out the Atlanta Falcons 2 weeks ago, which was absolutely ridiculous. It's because I said last week, we're going to see what Taysom Hill looks like as it moves forward in the season, as teams start to get a little film on him. And when I watched that game last week, and I heard so many people talk about they couldn't watch the game because of the Denver Broncos quarterback situation. Well, the quarterback situation on the other side wasn't that much better. One team seemed to be playing a practice squad wide receiver, and the other team seemed to be playing a utility football player. And so what is it going to be like offensively for the New Orleans Saints this week now that the Atlanta Falcons have their second go-around at Taysom Hill?
So I want to remind you what Ryan Clark said 2 weeks ago when these teams played and the Saints upset them. Ryan, you said that Taysom Hill catfished Atlanta. So let me break down what that means. Atlanta, the defense, they swiped right on a quarterback who was going to be a designed runner. The guy who showed up at the restaurant was throwing play-action passes. So you're right, they were catfished, okay? Now they know it's going to be one of those two things. Either we're going to get a lot of design runs like we saw last week, Taysom Hill didn't play well last week, or that play-action passing game to Michael Thomas. Either way, this Falcons defense, which has been playing better lately, they'll at least be prepared for it. Now, I'm still picking the Saints because of their defense, but I agree with you. If I had to pick an upset out of these three, I would go with the Falcons as well.
Yeah, I'm so glad that I don't have to date in 2020 because all this swipe right and swipe left, I'd probably be swiping the wrong way. Anyway, Marcus, who do you trust the most in the NFC to get that number one seed? We talked about how important it is. Who's going to be the one seed in the NFC?
I mean, listen, if you were single L's, I couldn't imagine them DMs on a daily basis. But listen, this is about the Saints. It be heat, a phone be on fire.
Come on, y'all.
Listen, man, this is about.
You're just trying to get more time on this show, trying to give me love. It doesn't work, okay? We're sticking to the script here. Actually, there is no script.
It's the truth. It's the truth. Listen, this is a part of the conversation as far as the season goes along as well, as we try to get back to some serious football talk. The Saints, to me, have become whole, right? We talked about NFC teams. We talked about defenses that weren't playing successfully, and the Saints was right in there. Mina and Ryan earlier this year talked about this defense was supposed to be one of the top defenses in the league. Well, the last few weeks, they've shown to be that. Especially up front with the emergence of Hendrickson, getting Davenport back was a big deal. Mina talked about, and then Cam Jordan now finally starting to assert himself as the guy that we know. This defense for the Saints is the reason the confidence meter has risen to a high level. Because look, to be honest, there's a lot of really good offensive teams in the NFL right now. There's a lot of people that we feel comfortable can put points on the board. So now as we start to get closer and closer to one and done in the playoffs, you got to start identifying other parts of teams to understand where they have the potential to go. And if the Saints defense continues to ascend and play the way that they've been playing, there's no reason to believe that the Saints can't end up in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Marcus, but to me, I don't think they get the number 1 seed. When you look at the schedule of the Seattle Seahawks, they have the NFC East, and then they hit the Rams later on in the season. And I think having the Rams at home, getting an opportunity to see them again and what they were able to do in the second half defensively against Jared Goff and that offense, I think they have a great chance at winning that game. If you're the New Orleans Saints, while you have Taysom Hill, you have to see Atlanta again. You will see Kansas City down the road. You'll see the Minnesota Vikings. I just think they have a tougher schedule. They have some games that they can lose. And I do think that getting that bye is important for the Saints. And what type of Drew Brees are we getting? We already have a Drew Brees that takes everything he has to get behind the football and be able to throw it. Will he come back healthy? And so I believe the Seattle Seahawks, with that defense improving, with the run game getting healthy again, and obviously with Russell Wilson, one of the top quarterbacks in this game, I believe they have the inside track to the number 1 overall seed. And Mina's not going to want to say this because she's not going to want to jinx it, but she believes it and knows it too.
Don't make her jinx it. Mina, what do you think? Who's the number 1 seed in the NFC?
Well, I swear I'm not trying to not be a homer. I still think it's the Saints. I will say Ryan's right. The Seahawks do have an easy schedule, and after the next few weeks, everyone's going to say, oh, the Seahawks defense is fixed. This is why you need to look at schedule always, because they're about to play a very easy slate of they got Colt McCoy this weekend, so you got to really consider the competition early on. I think the Saints are the most complete team.
Marcus, really fast.
Els, Mina don't even want to look at us when she's talking about the Seahawks.
She's like, I'm not even making eye contact with you people. I'm just moving right along, pretending like we never had this conversation. Now listen, she is going to want to look directly into the camera for this next thing we've got coming your way on NFL Live. We're talking Defensive Player of the Year, and Mina and Ryan took to Twitter yesterday to debate whether Aaron Donald and TJ Watt should be the Defensive Player of the Year. Who's correct? Marcus is going to judge